Hey there, this is Marisa with Marisa Moments podcast, Healing While I Heal, where I share real life stories and their healing translations. So let's just get straight into it. Now, I've been feeling very compelled to share very relatable things, right? Because we all have our own personal stories, and I can and I will and do share them with you. But if you can't relate, then sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to get that healing translation part, right? But what Spirit actually brought into my awareness and as a memory is hot water, right? Sounds pretty basic, right? I mean, if you live in a first world country, then that sounds like a privilege that we mostly all are accustomed to, right? It's a blessing that we have and we share. But we don't always have hot water, right? And in my lifetime, in this current lifetime, there's been many periods where the hot water heater went out, right? Now, knock on wood, that's not happening anytime soon. But in previous places that I've lived, the hot water heater went out in 2 of those places, and it was miserable. Trying to heat up water, trying to bathe, all of those types of things and situations. Now, as an important aside, we have to note that is just such a blessing in itself, right? To know what it's like to have hot water, because not everybody gets to experience that type of joy. But the point behind this story is not to kind of compare our lives and ourselves and the blessings that we have, but it is to acknowledge certain things, to acknowledge our ascension is what I receive. Now, when I say ascension, sometimes I think just overall, the skies and heavens opening up and me floating into the clouds, right? That is what I imagine when I hear the word ascension, right? Because I'm very literal and just all of those types of things, right? But what I receive from Spirit is that ascension doesn't have to be so deep, right? We just keep making things way more than they have to be. Ascension can be something, air quotes, small as we receive it, right? Whether it be that water heater being fixed and going from not having any hot water to having hot water again. Now, the thing of it is that we get so caught up and wrapped up in our own minds and in our programming that we feel like ascension and elevation and blessings and all of those types of things that essentially mean the same thing have to look a specific type of way in order to count, air quotes, count, right? Otherwise, it's just another thing. But what I actually receive is that we do need to, practice the attitude of gratitude. I think that's what the saying is. So anytime we go from one place in space to another, that's an ascension. Again, it may not look exactly like what you thought it would, but it's still an ascension no less. I don't know how many more times I can say ascension in one podcast. Ascension, 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 right? So it just serves as an opportunity for you to reflect on those times and moments where things did progress, things did change, but maybe it just didn't change in the way that you had thought it would or should. So then you just basically discounted it. Maybe it's time to reflect back on those moments and say, you know what, that was an ascension. And I'm glad that it happened. It may not look exactly like I wanted it to, but I'm glad that it happened no less, because you know what? That's what Spirit wants me to tell you. The ascension is not a full elevation. It's a step. It's a step in the air quotes right direction, in the proverbial right direction, to take you further down your path and journey towards healing and all of those types of things, right? But let me stop rambling at this point. Hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. That's it. Recognize your ascension. Whether it's large or small, big or tall, it's an ascension. It's a step in the right direction. So if this message resonates, then that means it's for you. And if not, that's cool too. Just keep it pushing. Either way, I thank you for listening, and I wish you the very best day ever. Until next time, you know the vibes. Peace. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to check me out on all of social media. Like, follow, comment, share, all of those types of things. But remember, when you look me up, it's Marisa Moments, and that's Marisa with one S, because there is only one me. And until next time, happy healing.